ESPN the Ocho coverage continues. Welcome to Blade Masters. Axe and knife throwing as part of ESPN the Ocho, presented by Sonic. We're in the heart of Rock Hill, South Carolina, and a busy day of festivities kicks off with axe and knife throwing, one of the most unique sports you're going to see, and a guaranteed hour of fun. Welcome into the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center with a world champion and Mike Kump and a commissioner, Evan Walters. I'm Evan Budrovich. Evan, give us a sense of what makes this sport so unique.
You know, this sport is so unique not just because of an amazing community, but because it's a simple task but has a high barrier of competition as well. You know, the people can go and compete at such a high level, but you can also go and compete at home, and it's the same game.
And Mike, you've been at this level as a national champion. What does it take to succeed at this level?
It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of setting your mind off and just doing the thing you've been practicing for so long, or haven't.
What a great day we have in tap. And let's give you a sense of what's going to happen here over the next hour. Not only team competition today, guys, but such a unique disciplines between hatchets and knives and axes. How do you succeed at this level?
So what they're going to want to do is each discipline is going to essentially count to 1 point for the team. And the team with the most points at the end, best of 5, is going to be the winner of the Blade Masters. So they're going to want to focus on their strengths, which are going to be the hatchet duels, the knife duels, the big axe, the knife, and the hatchet.
We'll have our red team and our blue team battled out. Now, keep in mind, if you're new to the sport of axe and knife throwing, there's a unique scoring system. You see this board, of course. The points are fairly straightforward, but Mike, as a competitor, what are those blue kill shots? What are the key of hitting those?
Yeah, so these blue kill shots in the corners of the board, there'll be 4 of them. They are painted blue. This year, they've gotten even smaller to just 3/4 of an inch. They're worth 8 points. If you hit the small, unpainted area outside of them, you'll get 6. Outside of that 1.5 inches, you're getting nothing.
And as this team competition gets rolling, we will get started and underway here. Our first event of the day. And we'll begin with hatchet duels. Team red versus team blue. Ben McDonald, our lead ref, getting us all set.
3, 2, 1.
And that is our opening toss. So points are now underway.
Yeah, so in our hatchet duels competition here, we're going to have the teams 2 throwers on each team. They're going to throw simultaneously. You cannot have one thrower throw and then the other come in after. That's part of the rules. Otherwise, it'll be marked as a 0.
So on this blue team, you have Kendra Tubman, 32-year-old out of Augusta, Kyle Rickenbaugh, the Indiana native. On the red team, Ryan Gustin, the captain, and Ashlyn Christmas.
Solid grouping.
Perfect down the middle from Ashlyn. Let's see if Ryan can sneak into that red bullseye as well.
4, 4, 6, 4.
So as Ben McDonald's pointing out, you're adding the points together. But, guys, there's a strategy, too, of not blocking the board for your teammate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I was saying, they have to throw them at the same time. So part of the key to doing that is if your axes are coming in at the same time, they can't. It's not as hard for them to collide and bounce off of each other. You want to get them close? Don't go too close.
I've seen a lot of folks also go for one player in particular will typically go for the bullseye, and the other one will go as close as they can, but be kind of okay with getting just outside.
5,
as long as one
6,
player on the team is hitting a bullseye, you can get a pretty consistent higher score for the whole team.
So both teams trading 10 points. Coming up to these final 2 throws now. What's the key for the red team to come back here, guys?
Going into shot number 4.
I mean, they need to start coming closer together, right? Everyone was saying that people tend to kind of keep a little bit of a gap. You don't have time for a gap anymore.
Honestly, I don't know if we'll see any kill shots called or not, but it might take that too.
That's a great point. So those red bullseyes are worth 6 points here.
4.
Those blue dots you can see in the corners, those are going to be worth 8. You're probably going to see the red team have to call these to try to make a comeback. If they can both successfully hit it, that's 16 points versus a maximum of 12 for hitting 2 bullseyes. So very big opportunity for a score change.
Team red with a 7-point lead. Are they both going to call kill shots here? They will and work together.
That's a strategy too. Sucker the other team in.
Aiming for those blue dots.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, going for the lower kill.
I think they may have gotten double hits.
Looks like it.
You can see Ryan.
Miss, hit.
2 hits. Wow. Dominant round for Ryan Gustin and Ashlyn Christmas. great start early on in this first round of competition. The day is just beginning as we continue this great coverage. We'll be back with our next round of competition. The knife duels is next. An early start, red versus blue, and the battle continues here on ESPN Ocho. Welcome back to ESPN the Ocho coverage. Blade Masters Axe and Knife Throwing is presented by the new Sonic $1.99 menu. 5 Sonic favorites just for $1.99 each. Live free, eat Sonic. Not only delicious Sonic, delicious knife throwing now on tap. We'll move into the knife duels part of the competition for this Blade Masters Championship. Here in the heart of Rock Hill, red team versus blue team, continuing this coverage. And the duels matchup, guys, these boards get really busy. 2 knives for each competitor.
Yeah, and the fun thing about this too is it's not just going to be like one axe like we just saw. It's not going to be one axe thrown and retrieved for each competitor. No, it's going to be multiple axes in the board, so there's going to be a lot more strategy in this particular competition because they're going to have to be going around their own knives and around their teammates' knives in order to get those points.
Kyle Rickenbaugh, Paige Julian will battle Jave Yoshimoto and his teammate Gustin, Ryan Gustin, as we get things started.
Yeah, so in our last competition, right, we saw 2 axes going into the board at once. We're now going to see 6 knives at once. I mean, this is going to be a craziness. You're going to see teams trying to strategize to avoid the knives that are in the board already. Maybe they'll need to get desperate and try to go those last 2 throws there from Kyle and Paige right through their other knives.
It's one way to cut through a coney.
There are a lot of 5 and 6 pointers right there.
6, 5, 5, 4, 4, drop.
That drop's going to be a little rough on the points because even just getting 1 or 2 points can be the make or break for this.
5, 5, 4, 4, 2, 1.
And to your point, those 1 or 2 points, when you do lose a knife, because it has to stick, those can add up over the course of the rounds.
Oh, absolutely.
An exercise in memorization there from our referee, having memorized 6 scores at once.
That's Ben McDonald. Not only is he decked out in some great shoes today, he's keeping math. This is the Ocho. We don't do math here.
Only in increments of 8.
All right, some good throws there from Jave and Ryan to start. So Ryan Gustin there on your far right, before axe and knife throwing, he's a scratch golfer. So if you think people come to these competitions and weren't athletes and experts at other games before this, you're wrong. Yeah, a lot of these people have been very competitive in other games and sports before they got to axe and knife throwing.
4, 4, 3, 0. Six, 5, 4, 3.
It's a great round for that Gustin Yoshimoto team.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see every single, especially when it comes to knives, every single player is going to have a different preference on how long the knife is, how thick, how wide it is on the blade, and all that kind of stuff. So each one typically has a different style of knife, but we see 2 of the Toro Muertos being thrown by 2 of the players.
Takes this game.
Looks like red team has taken knife duels. No small task.
So these hatchet duels, they really do test you with the team part of the competition as they celebrate our champion here. We're going to take a quick timeout and get you all set for our next competition. The Big Axe continues. Rolling along here on Ocho coverage in the heart of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, cheers, buddy.
The World Axe Throwing League opens up for their amateur championships in Atlanta, Georgia. That's coming up October 15th. Make sure to visit worldaxethrowingleague.com for more information. Anybody could sign up for this one today, though. We got team competition rolling on in our Blade Masters Championship. And here is Jave Yoshimoto, the Omaha, Nebraska native. He's an artist, he's a professor, and he's a great designer of blades himself.
Absolutely. He's the artist who makes pretty much all of our World Championship trophies. He does some amazing axe artwork, and just, you know, he's an art professor, so he has so much talent in and off the lanes.
The professor takes on the star student, Kendra Tubman, the 32-year-old, who has a new puppy, Ember, in the house. So she's been busy raising a dog and gearing up for her competition now, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was speaking to Kendra last night. She's from Augusta, Georgia. Works as a manager at an axe throwing facility, which comes in very critical and key to these competitions. You notice that a lot of the employees and owners of these venues, they tend to dominate because they get so much time on the boards.
Working for broad axe throwing.
When you're
And
ready,
now this matchup
is
of
shot
Tubman
number
and
1.
Yoshimoto is underway. 10 tosses with these big axes. A little more distance added. A challenge of hitting the board with such a heavy instrument.
Yeah, they'll be throwing from 15 feet away. Will be single rotation of these much larger axes. The axe heads tend to be around 2 1/4, 2.5 pounds.
4,
Is pretty
6.
typical.
Solid bullseye for Yoshimoto right out the gate.
No
Shot number
nerves.
2. Red
At least
team
not on
leads
that
by
throw.
2 points.
Now,
Oh,
Yoshimoto's had a turn at a different discipline already, so he's a little bit warmed up today.
Yeah, true. I'm interested to see what they think about going back and forth from the different disciplines.
That could be a huge response for Kendra.
Been looking close.
6.
She got it.
6.
Sixes for both.
Yeah, and you'll tend to see in this in big axe in particular.
Throw number 3. 2 points are still separating us.
With the difference between that red dot being a 6, the unpainted area 5, and then the black ring there just being a 4, that small distance between those really comes out when the big axe comes out, because it's so easy to just drop it low. You drop it, 2 inches low, and suddenly you're a 4 instead of a 6, and you're like, wow,
6,
this huge swing of
6.
points.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, 2 points can make or break the whole match.
Back-to-back bullseyes for these talented throwers.
This is now shot number 4.
You're in the halfway point of this 10-toss competition.
Just a slight lead. See if the nerves get to him or if he can stay in the zone.
I really like Jave's throw. So you see him, he lines up, he puts the axe straight in front of him,
4,
using it as a visual
6.
guide, and then he's watching it come straight back behind him as he's lifting it up. I really like that. Very good for consistency.
Not a lot of people go with the double-handed big axe throw, but
Throw number 5.
I tend to enjoy it
Red
myself a
team's
bit
up by
more
4 points.
due to that exactly. That straight up and down motion, it just feels a lot more natural to me.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Evan. A lot of people are doing the one-handed throw that you'll see Kendra doing on the left, but the problem can be that right there. See how she dropped it low? That is a heavy axe. That is a heavy thing to try to flick
3,
like that.
5.
And you really don't have as much control over the power as you can have with the two-handed throw that you're seeing Jade do.
And with 15 feet
Throw
of
number
difference,
6.
that axe continues to
shots
move.
left.
It's not easy to locate.
The red team has the lead still.
Let's watch this Kendra toss again.
So the one-handed throw, like Mike mentioned, just a little bit of the old rotation, but dropped. And again, those axes are heavy. For one hand, you need a lot of strength.
Yoshimoto, the 6-point lead. Oh, and it didn't stick.
Just a little bit of wobble there.
Drop 6.
As we saw in that replay, that axe head had dropped low. It was what we would call over-rotated. The axe head had come around a little bit more, and
Is your
maybe a
final
little bit
shot
too much. And
35-23.
it worked in the last throw and stuck, but you saw it didn't work there.
2 kill shots have been called.
So kill shots now, going for the 8-pointers.
So Jake's been real consistent with those bullseyes, but now he has to go for one of the corners, so maybe that might throw off his game a little bit. We'll see.
Jave just misses.
Oh, that was a chance, but might be a little high.
Miss, miss.
So again, kill shots are
Red
all or
team
nothing,
takes
so it's
game
kind of
one.
You know, a lot of people use this kind of a last-ditch effort to gain some solid points, but
Switch
you know,
sides.
sometimes you are just forced to go.
Take one practice shot, please.
So we'll do a best-of-3 competition. Round 1 goes to Yoshimoto, who noted his big accomplishment was making it to this competition. He hasn't competed at the highest level all the time, but being here on TV is such a huge moment.
Yeah, he's made it to the World Championships before, and but not been quite on the spotlight of ESPN yet. So.
Yeah, he's a very good thrower, and I think sometimes can be a little bit hard on himself. And I'm glad to see him, you know, performing so well today. I think bright lights aren't affecting him, and I don't know. Success is ahead.
He's been throwing for 5 years at his American Axis location in
When
Omaha.
you're ready, this is shot number 1.
Not just the college baseball capital of the world, might be the hidden axe throwing gem, Omaha, Nebraska.
I may never know. I don't know if I'll ever go.
Ooh. Kendra with a great start.
6-6.
And 2
There it
bullseyes.
is.
All right, a little bit of a reset, you know, getting back into the swing of things.
We're tied going into shot number 2.
So 7 total tosses here in this best-of-3 rounds. Yoshimoto won the opening competition.
Both outside the bullseye.
4-5.
Just 1 point, not too bad.
Yeah, Kendra just pulling a little bit to the left there. Maybe got the elbow out a bit
Red
and
team leads
ended up
by 1
activating
point.
the chest
Throw number
muscles.
3.
Yeah, maybe just pulls it inside sometimes.
And that's the thing about this game. Obviously, it looks very simple. You're just throwing an axe, right? But at the same time, it's a very delicate art in terms of the muscle memory, in terms, you know, having you, depending on where you decide to release the axe even, you know, or where your hand placement is on the handle, that can completely change the rotation. So it's all about finding your sweet spot. And, you know, sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't.
Shot number 4. Red team leads by 2.
Love the shirt, too, for Kendra to throw better. A little self-talk on her back of her shirt like that.
Yep.
That is one of the many pieces of dry humor you'll find in the sport. You know, one of your buddies comes over, they lost their match, they're complaining, everything but them, you know, is the reason they lost, and you just look at them and you throw better.
4-5.
Yoshimoto now a 3-point lead as we near our final tosses in the second matchup.
Going to shot number 5, 21-18.
Yeah, and let's watch Jave here. I started to describe it earlier. You can see he's pointing the axe straight ahead of him, using the eyes straight through the sides of that axe, pulling it back, straight through.
My triceps just hurt watching that.
Yeah, especially with the larger, heavier axes. It give you a pretty decent workout.
5-6.
Wow, another bullseye for Yoshimoto.
There are 2 throws left. Red team leads by 4.
How difficult would you say the big X is of all the disciplines? Is that harder, easier? Where does that sit
Kill
for
shot
you
has been
guys?
called by the blue team.
I personally think it's the hardest for me. The bullseye is so small, and I get that the big axe has a larger blade, but just being so delicate with that, it is very hard. It is a heavy axe. These people make it look very light. I cannot believe that they do it. When I throw it, I spread it all over the whole board.
Yeah.
You know, it's very difficult.
It's like you're trying to park
Miss.
a
6.
tractor trailer into a compact space.
You think about in darts, right?
This is your final shot.
Oh, yeah, let's take a look here.
23. Red team has the lead.
Straight back,
Both kill shots have been called.
straight through, never leaves, right over his nose, straight behind his head, and straight through. The axe head never leaves that plane, that line.
We had kill shots called here for this final throw.
Just outside. Ooh, that's pretty
Very
close.
close there for Kendra.
Those kill shots are the size of a nickel, if that gives
Miss.
anybody reference
Miss.
at home.
Red team takes the game.
So, Jave Yoshimoto takes the point, and his red team off to a good start. He'll win this best-of-3 matchup. We noted coming in his excitement to compete at this level. He's a fantastic artist. He's dicing up that board today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw some pretty good throwing from Kendra there. I think she may be back again later. Both competitors, you saw them throwing with two different styles, probably one of my favorite parts of the Big Axe.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to see everyone doing their different styles of throwing, because this sport, and when you do go to do those throws, it's a very personal thing, Everybody has a different arm length and strength capacity and things like that,
So we have our winner of this round, JV Yoshimoto. First of all, thank you for joining us. What did it take to win this competition? What did you have to do to succeed?
I had to really focus in on what I was doing. My muscles weren't quite warmed up, so I had to go pretty much recalibrate every throw to try to get as close to the balls as I can.
What do you think about you were throwing with a double-handed throw?
Yes.
Do you typically practice that way? Have you tried doing the single-handed throw?
I have tried single-handed. I'm not quite as good at single-handed throw when it comes to Big Axe because of the weight difference and the weight balance. So two-hand gives me a lot more stability when I throw, and I feel more true with my throw when I do that.
Well, thank you so much, Jave. What
Thanks.
a neat way to celebrate and enjoy this, and I can't wait to see the next axe you design at some point. You're a master artist yourself. Fun to watch Kendra Tubman and Jave Yoshimoto battle it out. We'll have plenty more coming up with the knife part of the competition when we return. Welcome back to Blade Masters. Axe and knife throwing is part of ESPN 8 the Ocho, presented by Sonic. Competition continues here in this axe and knife throwing competition. We'll dive into the knife part of the duels as we continue. Fun matchup on hand. Kyle Rickenbaugh, Ryan Gustin. And we'll start off with Ryan Gustin, who throws in 10 different disciplines. And Mike, now he puts his knife skills to the test.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Gustin, one of the most veteran throwers in the entire sport of axe throwing. He's the only competitor to have competed in every single world championship in the World Axe Throwing League. He'll be looking to utilize that experience here today against Kyle Rickenbaugh.
Kyle Rickenbaugh, who himself is very well known in the sport. He's competed in 10 tournaments this year, 24 different leagues. A man who's been involved in refereeing throughout his time. He's just a very well-respected name in the sport.
Absolutely. He's owner of the Plaid and Timber, made his way in here, and he's been instrumental in helping out the WATL as well with the part of our community council members and things like that, where we get some excellent feedback from our community to help move the sport forward.
These are two of the heavy hitters in the sport. Kyle Rickenbaugh, Ryan Gustin getting ready to go.
Yeah, I got to think here, particularly in this discipline, this competition, that Kyle has the advantage. Kyle has made the broadcast as a knife thrower in the World Knife Throwing Championship. He's that high level of a knife thrower, as he throws a terrible 4 high there.
Goes to show that's not as easy as it looks, right? Even with World Championship experience.
That's true.
Well, I didn't say how he threw on the broadcast. I didn't say he did well, but...
So here comes the scoring from Ben McDonald, our head judge today.
6-5-4. Six, 5-5.
So 1-point lead for Ryan Gustin, the captain of his team.
Very good grouping there from Gustin. That's what you want to see there.
Score is 16 to 15.
And
for
also
red
the type
team.
of knife that you use will help
These
out with
throws
that. He's
4
using
and
the
5.
Toro Muertos right now, which are slightly smaller, not by much, but just a little bit. Doesn't really help with the drop, though.
But Muerto, no Lando that time.
Yeah, and Rickenbaugh is using the WKTL's Blackhawks, which are huge knives. Gives you great placement all over the board, but you have to temper that with it. It's a bit harder to stick, and also you have to go around your own knives.
That's the perks of having a
6,
longtime commissioner
5.
like yourself, Evan Walters, sitting to my right. Mike Kumpf, who's won a championship in knife
4,
throwing.
drop.
I used to be good at this, yeah. You can see on the right there, Ryan's second knife was over-rotated in the board after dropping that first. Definitely getting in his own head about that first throw that was
Going into throw
under-rotated.
6.
Let's see how he comes out on these next throws. If he's still going to be doubting himself. No, comes out confident.
But again, that's part of the strategy of this particular game, is you have to go around that knife, though, which he seems to be doing really well.
Yeah, as you can see him, both competitors step to the right, try to create some gap and some distance.
I love how Gustin slices the wedding cake. He goes middle, outside, right.
Yep.
Because it does create those angles to attack the board as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That tends to be a pretty common strategy from throwers. You want to line your first throw up dead center
5,
and then
5,
go from there.
5.
Solid 15 there.
6, 6, 4.
I'm trying to gain a little bit more.
So 1
after
point
that
edge
drop.
there for Gustin.
Yeah. He's got a little bit more work to do to catch back up after that drop.
With 2 shots left, the score is 41-36 for the blue team.
Yeah, kill shots called here
Red
for
team has called a
Gustin.
kill shot.
Got to make those points up.
Miss there.
That was very close. Again, the size of a nickel.
Wow. Perfect height, but maybe the line was just off.
Let's see if
Red team
Gustin
has
can
called
hit
a
it this
kill
time.
shot again.
Just a little too low. Again, perfect on though.
You know, this is only the first round, but I think I'm going to ask that Ryan not throw any more kill shots.
I mean, he's pretty close. The first one was just off to the
6,
side. The other one
5,
was just a
hit,
little low.
miss.
I'll say 1 hit on the board.
Oh,
Oh, he did hit it.
yeah, wow, okay.
Inside that circle like we talked about,
Yep.
that red circle outside the kill shot.
Blue team takes game 1. Take a practice shot. 1 throw, please.
So an early win for the blue team.
Again,
This will
it's
be a best of 3, so they're just warming up here.
You can see Kyle getting really low, spreading the back leg out far and bending his knee, trying to get himself to the same height as the bullseye, so
ready.
he's throwing on a
Throw
straight
1,
line
game
as opposed
2.
to throwing down at it, which you kind of see Ryan doing.
Kyle Rickenbaugh, who watched the World Championship 6 years ago on ESPN, now he's competing himself. He's been here multiple times, of course, but neat to see that transformation. You're watching at home today, you could be at this stage in no time.
absolutely. Especially with the amateur championship coming up in October.
Head down to Atlanta for that one. And hold on, Rickenbaugh's got one more.
Safety first, everyone.
Good news, Ben McDonald can backpedal quickly. He gets out of the way.
6, 4, 4.
So a little bit wild there from Kyle.
6, 6, 5.
Great round for Ryan Gustin, who needs to win this to equal the score.
So Gustin has a 1-year-old at home. His son, his birthday's coming up.
17-14.
Told me,
Red team leads by 3.
Ryan is a Fast and Furious fan, and his son's name is George. It's a Fast and Curious birthday party. Fast and Furious and Curious George themed. I'm very interested to see how they're going to work that.
That time just 2 throws,
Yeah, I was gonna
just
say,
to be clear.
Got a little 2 in the zone at that point.
5, 4.
Yeah, so how we break up the game is you'll have 3 throws, then 2 throws,
6,
splitting
5.
the 10-throw game in half, and then 3 throws and then 2 throws. Very common for throwers to just forget it, and they often end up throwing that next
23.
knife, which is a
Red
fault
team
and a
has the
0.
lead. Throw number 6.
Because people just get in the zone. You don't want to be paying attention to what throw you're on. You want to just be focusing on executing.
You just want to get all the stuff out of your hands and into the board. Ooh.
Not that I'm some type of sneakerhead, but these are 2 of the ugliest shoe choices I've seen in a long time.
The Crocs and the highlighters aren't standing out for you today?
Yeah, highlighter shoes, and then the Crocs with the cornhole bag. They call them gems or something like that on the shoes for Gustin. I'm glad they're good throwers because they don't.
6, 5, 4.
Let's see which kick's got the better score here.
5, 4, 4.
Okay, 1 extra point there for Rickenbaugh.
Yeah, you can see right there the Crocs with the cornhole bags and the cornhole boards on them.
38.
Okay, we have
Red
cornhole
team
tonight.
leads by
2-hour
3
coverage on the
points.
Ocho coming up
There are
later.
2 knives left.
Absolutely.
He's hedging his bet.
Yep.
Those Crocs are about as close as Ryan's going to get to that championship tonight.
Fittingly, which is only 40 feet away from us across the gym here in the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. Rickenbaugh calls a kill shot for his next toss.
All right, if you're Gustin, just stick it. Ooh,
Oh, he
perfect.
does. Chance for 8 points here.
Ooh, I think that's just a little low.
Did he clip the right side?
Hit. 4.
Wow.
But I don't know that if that's enough.
6, 5.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to be enough.
So the math becomes a factor, and it won't be enough, but
52-50. Red team takes this game.
and a red team victory.
Third round, I believe.
So that'll force
coming up.
round 3 coming
Yeah.
up.
It's 1-1.
So 1-1. We'll head to this third and final round to decide it. Gustin and Rickenbaugh splitting duties as they finish warm-up tosses. Now this is what you wake up for on the Ocho, to see a winner-take-all knife throwing competition.
Absolutely. Down to the last match. 10 more throws. Makes it or breaks it.
I tell you what, I'm really impressed with Ryan Gustin here today with his knife throw. And look at that. You can hear the clang as those two knives come together, both in the bullseye.
And then he splits the difference.
Wow, that's impressive.
I need that man in my kitchen.
I appreciate him making me look good as I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
6, 5, 4.
And Rickenbaugh says, I didn't have a bad round, but it's going to be hard to keep up with this.
Yeah, that's a solid opener.
6, 6, 6.
Oh, my goodness. Watch this again. The butcher.
Woo! Splitting the uprights right in between those other two
Scores
knives.
18-15. Throws 4
Wow.
and 5. Red team has the lead.
See if he can keep up steam.
3-point advantage for Gustin. And he hits it again. Rickenbaugh answers.
He's warmed up. He's getting locked in.
5 for 5. Oh, I jinxed it.
And kind of lucky there that he didn't knock his other knife out. You saw when that other one collided, it knocked it downward. A lot of times you'll just knock them both on the floor.
6,
Yep.
5, 6. Drop.
So check out how close Gustin was here.
Just right on there.
Oh, sad. That's a not top 10.
If they weren't metal, they'd be a Robin Hood.
This is now shot number 6.
it flips the
score
lead
is
back to Rickenbaugh's favor.
26-24. Blue team leads by 2.
Man, honestly though, it's so close now, especially after that strong opening. Ooh.
That was interesting. You saw
Kill
both
shot
throwers
call
under
by red
rotate,
team.
but Kyle throwing those the Blackhawks, they're very top heavy, and it just drove in.
Kill shot time for Gustin.
Oh.
So close, but I think that may have sealed the deal.
And Rickenbaugh hits another. Good
Solid.
bullseye to end his round. Now, that might not be enough.
I mean, the drops just kill you
6,
here.
5, 4.
That's part of the strategy. You know, you have your own knives you have to worry about.
6.
So,
Miss. Drop.
bit more strategy.
The highs were high, and now the lows are low for Gustin here.
Kyle Rickenbaugh, though, after a fantastic first round from
41
Gustin,
to
how about his
30,
ability to recover
two
and
knives
take
left.
this lead?
Yeah, I
Blue
think the
team has the
consistency
lead.
has been his ally here, because obviously, you know, we've seen Gustin go just amazingly, but also with those drops, he's had a lot of the highs and lows.
Kill
But
shot called
Rickenbaugh's
by the
been
red
pretty
team.
consistent this whole time.
Yeah, despite the sneakers, no real highlights, but he's just been, you know, running the marathon.
Kill shot called, and Gustin hits it.
Not sure if it'll be enough, but
5, 5. Hit. 5.
Does take 3 points out of the difference.
And Kyle Rickenbaugh will take it.
Blue team
it's that
takes this
consistency.
game.
That
How
took
about Kyle
the match.
Rickenbaugh? Big hug at end, and those two embrace. And one of the favorites in the sport, a great performance today in this knife competition.
Right at the end there, I think Kyle tried a coin challenge that we have in axe throwing, where if someone doesn't have their coin with them, they have to buy the other a drink.
So, Kyle, you watch Ryan Gustin hit all his bullseyes in that first round. How'd you recover? How'd you pull out this win?
I mean, I just treat every throw like it's throw one. That's the hard thing for me, though, because I throw a lot of fours on throw one, unfortunately. You saw that today. So, but, yeah, I mean, it was just one throw at a time, breathe, good to go.
How much time do you typically practice knives during the week?
Man, unfortunately, being a venue owner, you'd think I'd practice all the time, but I don't get a ton of practice. I would say, an hour or two a week plus league. That's about it. But, practicing throwing over, the last 5 years just helps create that muscle memory, and it's a repetitive same thing every time motion.
Kyle, congratulations and big points there for your team.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That'll put his squad right back on the board, and competition continues here. Went all the way down to the final tosses, and Kyle Rickenbaugh earns the score. Coming up next, we move to hatchet here in the Blade Masters Championship. Blade Masters Axe and Knife Throwing is brought to you by the Finnish Long Drink. Legendary tasting since 1952. And of course, please drink responsibly. On the Ocho, though, we're going to be drinking some more competition, rolling in to our next round as we head out to the hatchet style of competition. And some new competitors take center stage. Ashlyn Christmas, Paige Julian, red versus blue team. And Ashlyn, a Concord, North Carolina, nearby native, gets an opportunity. She's been throwing for 4 years, and now, Mike, this is center stage for these two competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. Both North Carolina natives. We were talking to Ashlyn last night. Got into axe throwing from a Renaissance fair that she was at with her husband. It was the first time she had beaten him in a game or sport before, so they were like, yeah, we should take this up. And now they're owners of Iron Axe Society in Concord, North Carolina.
She's a female league champ and takes on another great competitor out of Wilmington, North Carolina, down by the coast, Paige Julian. Been throwing for just over a year and a half, especially in the knife and the axe-style throwing, but here she is now, Evan, in a big stage and a nice opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the reasons we love doing these types of competitions. We get to see players from all over just come out, and regardless of, you will have people who've only been throwing for a year, and other people who've been throwing for, I think like Gustin here is probably the longest one we've had with about 7 or so years.
Paige said her secret sauce is energy drinks. That keeps her calm and cool. I don't know about you, but that gets me fired up.
Oh, yeah.
For this final round of competition here.
So I'll say the axe throwing competitions, it is uncommon not to see at least every other person with some sort of energy drink.
And what a start for Paige. Looks like Ashlyn countered her with a couple of sixes.
6, 6.
Bullseyes apiece.
Yeah, no need for a close look there from Ben. Straight to the scores. Splitting the bullseye.
Going into throw number 2, the score is tied at 6.
I like this in-state rivalry, too. Really amps it up. Two North Carolinians.
Yeah, so now we're in a single hatchet. What you haven't seen so far is competitors using those outer bullseyes. Now that we're in the hatchet competition, they're going to go for the center first
5,
and then
3.
work their way around those other 4 bullseyes on the board for the first 5 throws.
10 total throws in this
Score
first
is
round of
11 to
competition.
9, going into shot number 3.
And the level of difficulty and the risk reward goes up as you get to those outer bullseyes. They're smaller, and then outside of that drawn circle is the 3 ring. So if you miss just a little bit, you're not getting a 4 or a 5. You're getting a 3.
Mm-hmm.
6, 6.
And Ben McDonald signaling up a couple of bullseyes for our competitors.
17 to 15 after 3 shots. This is throw number 4.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're worried about missing out there, which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Gotta love Paige with the blue nails to match her team's colors. Got to be dialed in all parts of the competition.
That's good. Shows she's been putting a lot of thought into it. Paige works as a psychic medium and runs a metaphysical store.
3,
I didn't ask her
6.
whether she had looked into the results of today. I think she's choosing not to know.
Either that, or
Shot
maybe
number
that's why
5,
she's so
blue
relaxed
team
and
is
doing
called a kill shot.
pretty well. She already knows
Red's
the
up by
outcome.
1
So
point.
Red just took the
Good
lead,
point.
and a kill shot called here. Paige will look for some big points.
Just a smidge too low, but this is a game of millimeters.
Oh, Christmas with those side bullseyes. Right in the middle of it.
Miss. 6.
Now, big 6 points for Christmas.
Right down the middle.
Look at that
Now shot
perfect
number
form.
6.
The extension just calm. The rest of the body staying still.
Red team leads 27,
Wonderful
20.
throw.
Points have shifted here. 7-point lead for the red team.
might be another bullseye.
Just a little bit of an early release from
4,
Paige. You see that axe going
5.
high.
And still a 5-pointer at that for Ashlyn Christmas.
That's the other thing too, like that for Christmas's throw, it looked
Now
like it
shot
was
number
pretty much
7,
solid on there, but
red
it was
team
just
still has the
angled
lead.
enough to just be outside of that bullseye. And you know,
32-24.
if you ever try throwing, you think you'll get right on that bullseye every time, but it can just be the tiniest little adjustment puts you right outside.
Ooh, a little bit high from Ashlyn.
4, 3.
Okay, Mike, here's what the strategy is, though. You mentioned hitting those side bullseyes. If you miss, you get 2-3 points. You could fall behind
35-28.
theoretically.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you're Paige and you're staying in the middle and trying to score 5s, you can catch up. If you know Ashlyn, the key there is those outer bullseyes are at a different height, and axe throwers for the longest time have been throwing at very consistent heights. So that adjustment can really mess with you,
5,
depending on how you choose to
3.
do it.
Cuts into the lead by 2 points, does Paige Julian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
similar to those kill shots, the
38-33
outer
for the
bullseyes
red
kind of have
team.
that high risk, high reward
shots
factor
left.
as well.
Absolutely, and I mean this year the throwers have gotten so good that the target has become even more difficult. The kill shots getting even smaller. I couldn't hit them to begin with.
I remember when they used to be the size of a bottle cap. Now they're the size of a nickel.
They used to be the size of
5,
what felt like a softball,
3.
and I liked it.
That's back when you were a world champion, Mike. And
Back in my day.
Yeah.
we have a commissioner here, Evan Walters. I'm Evan Budrovich.
41-38, final throw.
Final throw here with a 3-point difference.
All right, they're gonna
We
call
go
kill
bullseyes.
shots.
Oh, look at
Both
that. Kill
players
shot,
are
kill
called
shot. 8 points on the line.
I think I see Ashlyn lining up top right. Paige taking a breath.
Oh, Paige really needs that one. It's Christmas on Ocho Day, delivering the goods.
Miss, hit, 8 points.
Ashlyn Christmas taking round
Red
1.
team takes game 1.
So we'll roll right into this second
Game
round
number
here.
2, no practice.
Who needs practice?
As Allen Iverson would
Yeah.
say, we ain't talking about practice, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about axe throwing here. Moving into the hatchet of competition.
Five, 6.
Bullseye there for Ashlyn.
Throw number 2.
So Ashlyn up 1 game here. Paige maybe looking to make a comeback. She was a manager at Disney World for 6 years. Maybe try to summon some of that magic. I don't know.
Great bullseye there for Paige.
Ooh, that's real close.
6, 5.
Fortunate there for Ashlyn to just clip. You can see that pen line around that outer bullseye.
number 3.
Just clip that and was able to get 5
Scores
points.
tied.
I mean, 1/8 of an inch lower, something like that. That would have been only 3 points.
Which knocks us up at 11 apiece. Might be trading 6s here. Let's see.
Five, 6.
Okay, 1 point advantage for Christmas.
Yeah, so we said Ashlyn started throwing
Shot
at a
number 4.
Renaissance fair. Paige started throwing on a rainy day. Yeah, literally. It was a rainy day. Her and her friends had nothing else to do. And they said, there was that axe venue down the street. Started throwing, and look at this. Today on ESPN.
Yeah. It's definitely a great way to spend some time when the weather is not so great or it's a little too cold and whatnot. Now that we're going to start getting into fall soon.
3, 5.
What a performance here for Ashlyn Christmas. Her red team has dominated all day. And now we
It's a shot
look to
number
wrap up
5.
this round of competition.
Red team has the lead.
We've seen so many different disciplines today. some new competitors who aren't always on the national stage. This has been an impressive day of competition.
Absolutely. It's it's a great way to be able to showcase members of the community that may not have been able to get on ESPN before. Some who have. There's just all walks of life here, which is really nice to see.
5-3.
Good score there for Paige Julian.
Ashlyn just getting a little soft and dropping it a little low. Fun fact, Ashlyn knows all 196 countries of the world and their capitals.
Throw 6.
And she's been pretty accurate spreading throughout the entire board today.
Oh, what a response for Paige.
6-5.
So that'll tie it up.
All right.
30 apiece.
Now shot number 7.
Just 3 more throws.
You can see the throwers utilizing often breathing techniques. Right? I think snipers tend to breathe out before they shoot. It lowers their heart rate, really helps them calm down. You'll see a lot of throwers do similar in their setups and trying to just keep like some type of consistent formula.
Red team
to your
leads
throw.
by 3 points.
So here's throw 8 of 10 to wrap up this Blade Masters competition. Part of a busy slate of Ocho competition.
Was Paige able to clip the 5?
4-3.
Oh, she missed the 5, but the axe was high enough to be into the 4. Very fortunate there.
Yeah.
Slight
Throw
lead for
number 9.
Ashlyn Christmas
2
here as we
shots
come
left.
to these final 2 throws.
2 points separating us.
What have we learned today, fellas? What have we seen from this competition across the disciplines today?
I think it all comes down to each throw. It's as you continue on through these matches, you're obviously building up the total points that you have, but every throw can make or break a match.
And Mike, if you're at home, how do you get involved? How do you learn? How do you enjoy something like this?
Well, I think we just said it right.
Final shot.
You go into a Renaissance Fair, you see axe throwing, go try it out. It's raining out today. Go axe throwing. Go try it out. See if you like it. I guarantee you will.
And let's wrap up this competition with our final throw of the day. Round 10, Christmas Julian to decide it all. And
2
kill shots to end it. Let's see who hit.
Hit.
Now that's how you end the Ocho right there. Kill shots from Paige Julian and Ashlyn Christmas. What a performance from our competitors today. The Blade Masters competition. That was a fun way to end it, getting all the teams involved. And thank you for joining us today. For Mike Kump, Evan Walters, and our entire crew, I'm Evan Budrovich. Fantastic start to the Ocho Day. This is a presentation of ESPN. Thanks for watching, and the fun continues. Get out and throw those axes and knives today. We have plenty more on ESPN.